Hello, and welcome to my first video in a long ass time. Dude, I have one video on this channel and it's like my Genshin housing guide from like the week that came out. But welcome to a new video, finally, after all these years, of a bit of a Genshin account tour, review, whatever you want to call it, like showcase. A little bit of information about my account. I have been playing since technically the week the game came out, but I only really got into it around when Xiao came out, around Hutao, Xiao, Kaching banner, that like update area. And I started a 2-year and running commission streak around when Venti came out. Like his first banner day is when my streak started. So yeah, it's been a long time of being into this game. It's, in my opinion, a pretty, good game. Obviously, I sure fucking hope I think so if I played it this much. But, yeah, so first off with my account, I do have Abyss, not 36 starred right now because I absolutely despise this current Abyss. But I do floor 12, chamber 3, max it out, whatever, most updates. I usually 36 start. But also, I have every single location in terms of exploration, including the new area. I have absolutely everywhere 100%. So, call that no-lifing, or whatever you want, really, but I do it for the primogems, because I want more characters. And it really shows, I think, in my account. I have quite a lot of 5 stars. I'm not F2P. I want to preface that. I'm not free to play. I'm not a whale by any means either. I have rarely spent more than like 50 bucks at a time. I'll get into the one time I did spend more than that. Usually what I spend money on though is just if I lose a 50-50, I really want the character, I'll just buy them. So yeah, I'm not gonna, act like, oh, this is my F2P 2-year login account. But yeah. So first I'm gonna start with something I don't have a whole lot of, which is weapons. I don't pull for weapons. I usually use battle pass weapons. That's another thing I buy, battle pass and Welkin. I just don't really feel like my primos are going anywhere when I buy battle pass, or when I pull on the weapon banner. It just feels like it's deleting them to me because the pity is so shit, and like the chance of actually getting what you want is just so low. I've pulled for one weapon. You can probably see it right here. It's the only non-standard banner one I have. And then just artifacts and shit. Like, no one really cares about this stuff, but resources, whatnot. I do have a lot of billets. I guess that's might be a little interesting. All the gear, this stuff. Yeah, no one really cares about that stuff. Oh, I do also have my teapot maxed out. That's one thing. Now we can get into the real stuff, which is the character builds. Duh. I'm just gonna go one by one with the characters I actually use, which cuts off around here-ish, give or take. I don't have everyone in the account fully built, not gonna lie. And some of my builds are kind of shit, because as you can see, I have a lot of 5 stars, and I can't, like, min-max all of them, obviously. Like, I have to pick and choose who I want to focus on, so a lot of them are just kind of mid builds, but I think it's a decent account. So, let us start with my main man. Anyone who knows me knows this is my favorite character, probably in any video game ever. I don't know. I was absolutely obsessed when it came out, but anyway. Let's get right into my Kazuha, I guess. Level 90, duh. 2k attack, pretty good. This is with Jade Cutter passive. So yeah. 2k attack, 115 EM. So as you can see, this is not an elemental mastery build. Obviously, friendship 10. There's a look at the crit stats. Almost 70 rate over 202. Energy recharge 128. Attack. Yep, all that stuff. We have Jade Cutter as my weapon. Pretty sick. The only weapon banner I've ever pulled on, and it was... I got it early, around 30 pity, and I got the fuck out of that banner the second I got it. But a great weapon for him, honestly. Like, it's so strong. Artifacts. We have Glad and Viridescent. Pretty popular. Standard way to build him as a DPS. Sorry, my Feather. Flower. This one's kind of cracked. Sands. Not the greatest, but I do like these HP rolls with Jade Cutter. I do really want to replace this soon, though. I definitely can get more crit damage on that, and maybe just some rate. Not the best. This is not the best either, but this is as good as it's gonna get for me, because I have been farming for a better anemo damage goblet than this for so long, and I only just the other day even got this one. It was even worse before this. It refuses to give me good artifacts, I swear. This pretty fucking good, honestly. HP rolls goes with a Jade Cutter. Almost like max crit rate, like it's chilling. This is pretty good. So yeah, we have C3. This is the pride and joy of my account right here. This is everything to me. But we have C3. I love C3 for DPS. This obviously is kind of a must pull for a DPS if you ask me. He doesn't really have short enough cooldowns, in my opinion, to be a DPS before you get this. This is just more of a support thing, but it does actually help his personal damage quite a lot. And obviously this helps with DPS a lot too, because this raises your talent level by 3. So, for his skill, first. Then we have talents, Triple Crown, duh. I know this isn't the most useful in the world, but it actually does technically improve his plunge damage with his skill, so I totally see it as worth it, and like, he's my favorite character, like, ever, so why wouldn't I, honestly? Like, it's not that hard to Triple Crown in this game, to be honest. So yeah, there's my Kazuha. He's pretty good. He's kind of, I would say, he's like the pride of my account. I try to flex this a lot. Yeah. So moving on, we have Itto. Not my best build. I did actually have my account hacked at one point, and they kind of fucked up my build a little bit, but I've tried to recover it a decent amount. We have 2.3k defense, pretty decent. Here's the crit stats. Not the greatest in the world for him, especially considering he ascends with rate, but I am fine with it. It's pretty decent. We have Blackcliff Slasher on him. Honestly, pretty good option in my opinion, because like I said, he ascends with a rate, so having a damage weapon is pretty nice. Also, it looks pretty nice on him. The attack passive is not useless. Like, I think he still technically does benefit from attack a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. It's obviously not the best. He's a defense character, yada yada. So we have 4 Husk. That's pretty much the only way to go with an Itto, if you ask me. This is not the greatest, but the ER is nice. 3 crit damage rolls. This is alright. This, actually, I would say this is good because the 25% defense on top of 2 crit damage rolls definitely could be better, but if you ask me, like, so you kind of need defense rolls somewhere on your build with him, so we take those. This is pretty damn good, if you ask me. This is awful. I've farmed this domain so much, they refuse to give me any crit stats on a Geo Goblet. However, defense rolls and ER is quite nice, but this is probably my big problem area with him. This needs replacing, like, ASAP. This is alright. I like the defense and the crit damage. It's alright. Could be better, but yeah. C0. Didn't really feel the need to pull for more than that for him. I have 9, 9, 10. I feel like this is totally worth crowning for anyone who plays him a lot. Like, the damage scaling is pretty strong. So that's my Itto. Albedo. This is a really interesting build for me. I built him in a pretty unique way, honestly. I feel like this is not the way people usually build him, because it's usually like defense bot or like a crit build, right? I tried to like kind of put him in the middle of the road a little bit. It's weird. I'll show you. So he has 2.5k defense, which I think is pretty good, pretty solid. And he has 57 over 70. So this is obviously super low like crit damage and kind of even rate. But we have him with Cinnabar. R5 obviously, if you don't have R5, like what? And then 4 Husk. So my thought process kind of behind this build is that he has a ton of defense, right? But oh god, this goblet sucks too. I just hate goblets in general. My account has so many bad ones, I'm sorry. So my kind of thought process was, if I give him a ton of defense, right, but he still crits, then, and has a little bit of crit damage, that'll just amplify the shit out of his, like, out of the procs on his flower, because the defense is so high and it's critting. So, and it does work really well. He hits like 24k, like whatever you want to call it. Like, I would call it blooms in the past, but that's definitely not blooms anymore. But with the flower, it's like 18 to like 25k sometimes with it. So it's pretty good, honestly, if you ask me. I think this is a decent way to build him. So flower, this is kind of hot ass, but it's a rate stat stick. I needed it. This is pretty it has no damage rolls, but it does have a ton of defense. The HP is not great, but again, this domain absolutely hates me with its entire heart, so. But also, I'm not really looking for crit stats as much. This is pretty ass, definitely needs replacing. This is pretty ass, definitely needs replacing. And then this has a ton of defense on it, so that's pretty nice. So definitely could be improved, but I did get him like right around the same time I got Itto. So it was a lot of farming that domain and juggling artifacts to do. C0, 5, 9, 8. His burst is kind of ass with this build, but I don't really play him like that. I just kind of slap his skill down and use him like that. So, yeah, I think this, I mean, it's not the greatest for sure, but I think this is definitely like an effective way of building him. He does a lot of damage with his skill, and that's pretty much just how I play him. So I think it's all right. Moving on to Zhongli, we have 1 point around 4k attack. Not the greatest, only 22k HP as well. This is kind of like a hybrid build here. 61 over 181 with 140 recharge. I think that's pretty good with the crit stats. We have Deathmatch. I don't love using this on him. It's a little ugly, but it is what it is. I had to move my Black Cliffs over to Cyno when I got him, so we'll get to that soon, though. Because my Cyno build is a fucking doozy, dude. 2-piece Petra, 2-piece Noblesse. I think this is the best way to do him, like, as a burst support. This is pretty good. Nice ER. This is just, like, a stat stick for crit damage. This is actually really nice. I think it's, like, super high crit value. I don't really know how to crunch, like, crit value numbers, but pretty strong. This, once again, this game absolutely hates me when it comes to goblets. You will see that trend on my account, except for my Ayaka, but we'll get to that. It hates me with goblets, but I think this is alright. I mean, 1 damage roll, ER, HP, it's alright. This one has a shit ton of defense. Definitely should go on a different Geo character at some point, but do like the recharge. I barely farmed this domain. I need to go back to farming him soon. But yeah, he does an ass load of damage, though. C0, 6, 8, 10. I do want to raise this soon. I know it's pretty effective, but I don't even really use him that much with the shield anymore. I just feel like healing kind of outdoes shield now. But yeah, that's my Zhongli. We have Wander. Attack 1.7k. Not the greatest, but he does get more off this passive and just his general passive. He has the thing where he like sweeps up different elements and he gets more attack with Pyro, which is he's almost always has Pyro. So it's actually pretty decent. It's around 2k for real. So Widsith R5. It's so nice to have an R5 Widsith, dude. This passive goes absolutely hog wild, especially for him. This is pretty much good in all of his fronts. Like, obviously the EM is a little less great for him, but he's still swirling, so. But anyway, 2 Viridescent, 2 Glad. We have this. Pretty decent. I like having the rate. This is really strong, honestly. This really needs to get replaced soon. I don't love having no rate, and it's only 3 rolls, or 2 rolls into damage. However, ER is nice. EM is pretty nice. Animo damage, I just got this the other day. It's alright. Again, Goblet's just not a great thing on my account. And I like this a lot. I think this is decent. I mean, it's only 1 damage roll. However, ER, it's pretty decent. C0. I don't actually really love playing him that much, if I'm being honest, so I'm probably never going to pull for Constellations for him, but yeah. 8, 8, 7, I really need to raise these. I've been putting this off forever. I just don't love playing him for some reason. I don't know why. I usually love the Animo boys in this game, but something about, like, Skara, I don't love, but I don't know. But yeah, that's my build for him. I forgot to show the crit stats. 70 over 194. Pretty strong, especially with the 150 ER. I don't really know how with these artifacts I have this good of a ratio, but there it is. I think he ascends with rate. That might be why. But yeah, moving on. Xiao. This is one of my best builds. We have 2.1k attack without any procs of Jade Spear. So he goes up to like around 3k, I think. Plus Bennett, of course. 80 over 193. I know a lot of people have like 200 something crit damage on their Xiao, which I used to. But then I started prioritizing rate a little bit more because he just takes so many different... He procs really often, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's way better to be consistently critting than to hit a little bit more. So yeah, 120 energy recharge, not bad. Jade Spear, as I mentioned, just R1. I haven't pulled for any more or anything. I just got this off standard banner. Thank God I did that. I actually got this off standard banner like a week after I pulled Xiao, which was pretty sick. Gladiator, Viridescent, once again, go through the pieces. This one is alright. I do like the rate rolls and the attack. This is kind of perfect in my opinion. Pretty strong, honestly. EM's not great on Xiao, but 28 crit damage, we take those. This is alright. Attack roll, nice. And this is pretty decent. Actually really strong, honestly, if you ask me. Constellation C0. I do want to pull for a C1 Xiao eventually. I would love to have one because I think it just makes him way more fun. Way more energy efficient. But yeah. Triple Crown, Xiao. I love Xiao. One of my favorites. He is the one character I did have to kind of wail for that I was mentioning at the beginning. I just spent like around $100 on him. Not my proudest moment. But I would say it was worth it. Alright, Venti. My Venti build is shit. I don't play this character. He's completely irrelevant now. I hate to say it. But yeah. I do have on a bit of like an EM build though. So 1.2k attack, 563 EM. Like, non-existent crit ratio, honestly. I have one Windbloom Ode. I need to get this to 90 eventually, but I just don't really care enough, to be honest. It is pretty strong for him, though. And it looks great. 4 of Iridescent, just for that, like, resistance shred. This is alright. Attack. This is just an EM stat stick. I can't get a good one of these. I'm being honest, I really don't care about my Venti build that much. He's kind of irrelevant now in the game, but Animo damage with nothing good on it, except for some attack rolls, and then EM with a little bit of damage there. Yeah, not my greatest build. Don't really care for him that much. Sorry, love his design and everything, but yeah. 577. Haven't touched him since I got him, really. I'm sorry, I don't hate Venti, guys. But, okay, here's another one of my better builds, though. Ayaka. 2.1k attack. Pretty good. We have 35 over 246. So if you know anything about Ayaka, you know that she doesn't really need max crit rate because of her artifact set being primarily 4-piece Blizzard Strayer and Prior Resonance giving more rate. So she's realistically more around, I want to say 70, 80 when I'm using her in her proper freeze teams. I don't run her as the only Cryo on my team. I use Rosaria as well. We have Amenoma Kageuchi. This is a pretty good weapon. I really like that it makes pretty much any character like EM or ER efficient by themselves. Pretty nice. It also looks amazing on her. And the attack is super nice. And as I mentioned, Blizzard Strayer, these are some of my best pieces. We're going to start off over here with the Feather. This, I don't even know what to say about this piece, dude. Absolutely amazing. This is pretty great. Attack, ER, pretty much great. This really needs replacing. I am trying to work on this. However, the game refuses to give me anything better. This is the one goblet I've been blessed with in this game is this one. Amazing though. I love it. Obviously the other two dead rolls, but like doesn't even matter. And we got this. Not the greatest, but I mean, rate, attack, ER. You'll notice those are like the things I pretty much prioritize. C0. I might pull for C1 next time she comes out, not gonna lie, I do really like playing her. And 999, I'm going to crown her skill and auto attack soon. I'm working on it. But yeah, that's my Ayaka. Moving on to Cyno. Okay, so I have a whack-ass Cyno build, y'all. It's a little insane. It's not how you're supposed to build him, I know. But I'll just, obviously, very little EM. Not really how you're supposed to play him, but you'll see how I do play him. We have 52 over 273. Yeah, I just kind of min-max his crit damage. In my opinion, 50 rate is enough to get away with for him because he procs a lot. So it's like, I don't know. It works. It works. Blackcliff Pole, as you probably just saw, gives some more attack. I do run him just as like an attack character. Not technically optimal, but you know. And then we have 2-piece Glide, 2-piece Thundering Fury. Pretty much just standard Electro DPS build. Feather, kind of fucking amazing. This is pretty great. That's alright. It is nice having ER on him because he really needs it. This is mid, but it's on set for me, so pretty decent. And then this is the reason this build has so much crit damage, is rate with 37 crit damage off piece. I don't even know. Of course it's on maidens, but yeah, that's pretty much what's holding this build together. C0. I don't really know if these are totally worth it. Maybe one day. Double crowned with an 8 normal attack. I know his normal attack's kind of useless, but he was my main for a little bit, so I just like being able to like use him in all scenarios, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my Cyno. We're running out of ones that I'm proud of the build on, not gonna lie. We got a couple more. Yae Miko. She is not doing great right now. I'm in the process of rebuilding her with Gilded Dreams because she's so much better as a EM support. So this is my old attack focus build that's also in the middle of being reworked, so it's not great. 73 over 175, pretty bad for her, not gonna lie. 125 ER, she needs a lot more than that, and only 119 EM. Just not amazing. I mean, she does decent damage, but yeah. Solar Pearl, I actually really like this on her because the way I play her, I definitely do mix in a couple normal attacks here and there, so it does kind of buff the shit out of her. 2-piece Thundering Fury, 2-piece Glad. Go through these real quick. They are not good whatsoever. Yeah. There those are. C0, 688. I kind of want to get this to 9 soon, but I'm just gonna rebuild her. Then we'll go from there. So yeah, not the greatest, but she is one of my favorite characters, and I am looking forward to rebuilding her more effectively. Raiden Shogun. Okay, so this is a weird one for me because I've had her forever, but the build I gave her like the day I got her has been like untouched because I have not been farming this domain at all. So it's not the greatest, but 1.7k attack, not bad. 37 over 180 about. 267 ER though. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So she does have 37 crit rate, but she does have this, which puts her around, that would be around 50 exactly, I think. Yeah, around 49, 50. Still not great. She does crit a lot though. I don't really know why. I really have no rate issues with her, but yeah, do want to get that up though. And then these pieces are kind of dog shit. So this one, rate stat stick with low ass crit damage roll. This one's just pretty mid, way too much defense. This is pretty great, honestly. Pretty great. And then nice ER, but not a single rate roll. So this definitely is where I can get like a massive improvement. If I get one of these, I don't even need this ER, dude. Like I have so much already. If I can just get one of these with a lot of rate, like 10 or something, then she wouldn't have rate issues anymore. She'd have a little bit, she'd have the same crit damage. Everything would be fine. But yeah, I mean, not the worst. She definitely does a lot of damage still. So I haven't really felt the need to like rebuild her because she does so much anyway, but that's just kind of the nature of a broken character. C0, 2, 9, 10. I don't know if there's any benefit to leveling this. I don't think there is. So that's why it's at. Another one of my mains, I would say, Alhaitham. We have 1.2k attack and 346 EM. Pretty good. 62 over 178. I'm pretty proud of this with the EM, keeping the EM up and all that. It's pretty good. He does an assload of damage. He's probably my strongest character, to be honest, even over Kazuha, just because of his team comps being absolutely ridiculous. We have Black Sword on him. I think this is pretty good for him. I like the normal and charge attack damage. Obviously, like, there's a lot better, but I'm not going to wail on, like, Light of Foliar Incision. I would love to get him a Jade Cutter one day, but we will see where that goes. We have 4-piece Gilded on him. I got some pretty good pieces on here. This one's pretty solid. I like this one a lot. EM, crit stats. This is pretty strong. Got a lot of attack. He is split scaling, so attack is helpful on him. But I'd say EM Sands. But I feel like this is kind of the best way for this to go because getting attack on the Sands, you know, still helpful. This is hot dog shit. I literally cannot get a better one. The EM and ER though, pretty nice. And then this is alright. Not that great. I do want to replace this as well. But he does a lot of damage, so I honestly am in no rush to fix him or anything. C0, really want to get C1 when he comes back. And Triple Crown, because he's actually one of those characters you really do like want to invest in all 3 of his talents. I mean, he's constantly normal attacking, constantly using his skill, constantly using his burst. Like I think he's a very, very well like designed character to make him completely optimal in almost every scenario. So yeah, love Alhaitham. Nahida. She's really strong. I do have the 1000 EM, which I think kind of automatically makes your Nahida build good in my opinion, because you really don't need anything else than that. But I do have Sacrificial Fragments. This is great to have on her. I love ending the cooldown. Super fun to play her like that. I do have 2-piece Deepwood, 2-piece Wanderers. I would love to just get to the full 4-piece Deepwood. However, I do need this 80 EM, so I'm waiting until I can get Deepwood pieces with more EM on them. But these are pretty good artifacts. Some crit stats just because it's nice to have it on her. EM and attack, crit stats because EM main stat, so go crit on that one. Crit because EM main stat again, crit because EM main stat again. So yeah, she's pretty decent. I don't know if I showed this, but she does actually crit pretty often because she has a little crit rate passive, I think. Something like that. But yeah, she's pretty strong. I really like my Nahida build. Definitely a powerhouse of a character, and I would consider one of the only must pulls in the game, honestly. And then 696. I don't really see the reason to level up her normal attack that much. This I definitely want to raise. I think it scales up the buffs. Yes, it does. So I really need to get that up. But yeah, pretty good. And then you can't have a Nahida without a Nilou. I love Nilou. I love the character. 50k HP. Not bad when she has the Hydra res. I think she gets more. Yes? No? Maybe so. Yeah. 200 EM. That's off this. She's kind of at a weird build too. She has something kind of similar to the Albedo thing going on, where I'd want her to still crit, so when I use the left click skill instead, she can actually do some damage. So, and she definitely does, especially with reactions. Iron Sting, because there's no free-to-play sword that's even remotely useful on her, really, so just thought I may as well do this for the elemental damage increase and the bloom damage increase. 2-piece of both HP sets. I really need to get new pieces for the new one. However, I really wanted to get her to that 2-piece. So I am working on that. This is alright. HP rolls, good. HP rolls, good. This has HP main stats, so just kind of recruit rate stat stick and ER stat stick. HP main stat, way terrible rolls, but whatever. And then this is pretty decent. I could put her on HP circlet, but I feel like I have enough HP on her, and I do really like her critting, so she can do more damage just on her own. Because not every enemy, you know, can really be used with Bloom, or can be killed with Bloom, rather. So, yeah. C0, don't really feel like they need to get any of these constellations. 2A8, I know her talents are like, there's something in like the theory crafting community that's like, oh, her talents are like useless or whatever. I mean, I like this damage going up. I like her scaling going up. So then moving on to Ayato. He has 1.8k attack, not the best, but pretty decent. Not really any EM. 54 over 246, 0 ER. Don't love that. However, crit damage is pretty nice. I would love some higher rate on him. I want to pull for his signature one day, but alas, we're sticking with the Black Sword. Black Sword is great on him though, because normal charge attack damage, obviously, that's how you play him. Heart of Depth and Gladiator. You'll notice a lot of my account is just the element that the character is, and then Gladiator. That's kind of how we did it back when Genshin was a little newer. That was pretty much what we'd always do for DPSs, and I guess it's still kind of just burned my head. So we got this. Not the greatest at all, however, the attack is super nice. That's almost a whole 2-piece right there with the attack, and he kind of needed it, so I like running that with him. This is pretty great. This is alright. Don't love it. This is kind of insane in my opinion. I mean, no rate, obviously, but goddamn 35 onset Hydra damage, yes. And this is pretty good, attack and rate. So yeah, and he also does have some HP scaling in there, so I did try to get a couple rolls on there. He has 20k HP, which I think is pretty decent, because it's nothing significant. It's just like something with his burst gets HP scaling or something like that. C0, 6, 10, 9. Thought this was pretty important to crown just because I do like playing him quite a lot, and it's just some raw damage. 9, obviously, the scaling's pretty high on this. And yeah, that's my Ayato. Moving on to Yelan. I need to fix my Yelan a lot. Just 1.2k attack, that's kind of useless on her. She doesn't need attack. 26k HP, pretty low for her. I have her as like a DPS mostly. 60 over 214. I think that's pretty good for her as far as I know. She crits a lot. She does a lot of damage, especially on reactions. She's kind of nasty. And I play her with Kazuha, so she gets that extra EM. 125 ER. Wish that was a little higher. I'm thinking about switching her to 2-piece emblem. Blackcliff bow. Pretty decent. I honestly just ran this for the extra crit damage. Heart of Depth, Noblesse. Yeah, pretty standard thing to run on her. I do want to switch the Heart of Depth to Emblem, though, because I would love to be able to spam her on cooldown more. So there's this. This, which really needs replacing, however, the ER is nice. Pretty good. This is alright. And that's kind of trash. C0, 799. I do want to crown this soon. I think it'd be totally worth it. I use her in almost every Abyss rotation. But yeah, Yelan, super strong character. I got her the day she came out. I kind of love her, so yeah. Moving on to Kokomi. Almost 40k HP. Could be better, but she heals a shit ton anyway. I have a little too many crit stats on her. So fun fact about my Kokomi, actually, is that someone hacked my account last year, and they pulled her, and then I got my account back. So at first, I did not really want her or want to build her. However, I'm really glad I have her now. She's been a lot more meta since the, like, blue meta. But, yeah, so I didn't put a whole lot of effort into her build. I just kind of slapped what could make me, you know, get more heals off her. But she's alright. Prototype Amber, pretty much the free-to-play option. Not free-to-play, but you know what I mean. The easy option. 4-piece Clam. Cool. These are just whatever I could find. There's some HP on there. HP main stat. Healing bonus. HP main stat. I don't know why I used a crit one there. yeah, I don't really look at her artifact. She heals so much anyway, like it barely matters to me. C0, 3, 8, 6. I don't really care about either of these. I just care about the heals. I do want to raise this to 9 soon. And yeah, that's my Kokomi. So my first DPS character that I got, because my first event 5-star was Venti. So he was my first like event, like main DPS, I guess you could say. Tartaglia. We got 1.8k attack. Not awful. 62 over 177. This is pretty strong in my opinion. Obviously, if you have a Skyward Harp, like it's gonna be a lot higher. If you have this Polar Star or whatever, but I'm just operating with Battle Pass weapons, so it's alright. 111 recharge, not bad. Iridescent Hunt. It's actually really, really good on him because he's constantly normal and charge attacking. Pulls all the enemies in. Does more attack. It's actually really great on him. We have Heart of Depth and Gladiators as per usual. I do know that Heart of Depth 4-piece is pretty amazing on him. However, I felt like my attack was kind of lacking, so I have this on him for now. I have been doing a couple Heart of Depth runs recently, so hopefully I can, you know, get him on 4-piece eventually. And I would also love to run him with my R5 Rust that I have. However, he needs the rate right now. So maybe if I can get a higher rate roll in here sometime, I could be able to run him without it. But yeah, we have Flower, pretty good, nice attack, crit. This is pretty much just a crit damage stat stick. Pretty decently balanced. This isn't the greatest, once again, Goblet effect. And then this is not the greatest either, but it is what it is. C0, I would love C1 eventually. And then I have 5, 10, 10. I just kind of, he was like my only like real character for a while, so definitely just like crowned him out of boredom, but I mean it's worth it. He gets a lot of attack off it. And as someone who's logged in every single day for 2 years, I have crowns to go around, like trust me. So yeah, that's my Tartaglia. Over here we have Hu Tao. I just got her recently. I know immediately it probably leaps out that I have under 100 EM. I just cannot balance it for the life of me. I do have decent artifacts. I just cannot get those EM rolls that I need. I'm working on it. We have 57 over 251, 0 ER, but she doesn't really need it in my opinion, especially the way I play her. Would love a little more rate on her, but the damage definitely makes up for it, and another thing definitely makes up for it that I'll show you in a second. Blackcliff pull on her, looks great, gives her attack, pretty nice. 4-piece Crimson Witch, I mostly play her with reactions. This is pretty great. This is pretty great. I like this one. This is pretty good, honestly. 26 crit damage, a little bit of EM, and 10% HP. Like it a lot. This is great. Attack, HP, damage. C1. I got my second Hu Tao like less than 30 pulls after my first one. I did not wail for this. I just got really lucky. Very happy about it though. I'm not one of the people who thinks she's like unplayable without C1, but I definitely am very grateful that I got it because she's a lot more fun, and my lack of rate is made up for a little bit because I can proc way more often. 10, 9, 9. I want to get all these to 10, honestly. I really like playing Hu Tao, especially since I have C1. So I do want to triple crown her eventually. However, I have a lot of characters to focus right now, so yeah. Moving on, Diluc. My first 5-star, I got him on the standard 10 pull that you get when you download the game. Pretty awesome. I had no idea he was rare. I just like sent my friend a screenshot. I was like, oh, I got Diluc. Who is this person? I thought they were like a 4-star or something. Everyone was like, oh my god, that's so cool. But anyway, 2.5k attack. Holy shit, that's a lot. 65 over 158. Not bad because I'm not running crit weapon. I actually think this is pretty decent. He does a lot of damage. 127 ER, 0 EM. Wolf's Gravestone. Just got this recently when I was, right after I was done my Alhaitham pulls actually. I had a wish on standard and I got this. Pretty awesome. Gives me a ton of attack again. So I don't think this is showing right here, all my attack, if I remember correctly. And you get more when the opponents are less than 30% HP. He has like 3k attack mid-fight, and with Bennett, it's even more than that. It's kind of ridiculous. 4-piece Crimson Witch. Have decent artifacts on him. This one's pretty nice. Attack percent, pretty strong. This really, really needs replacing. I don't know why this is what I have on him. I guess I have nothing better. I don't really use him that much. This I just noticed that I even had today. Pretty decent. I like it a lot. And then this needs desperate replacing. Definitely not a character I use a lot. He's definitely fallen out of the meta a lot, but he's alright. C2, we lose those 50-50s. And 888. Probably not going to raise that anytime soon because I don't really use him, but he is strong for who he is. Heizo. I love Heizo. I freaked out when they announced this character. I love the Animo boys in this game, and his attacks are so cool in my opinion. I think he's one of the most fun characters to play in the game. We have 1.9k exactly attack. No EM. I don't really think he's that useful with EM though, because his main damage is his punch, which doesn't have like any swirl effects or anything. We have 68 over 172. Pretty decent for a 4-star. He has no like damage, like crit damage or anything scaling or ascension. We have Lost Prayer on him. Yes, I have this on him instead of Skara. I like him more, sorry. 2 Viridescent, 2 Gladiators. Pretty standard stuff. This is pretty decent. This could use some replacing, but I do like the attack. Pretty good. Really needs replacing, but however, everyone is fighting for the Animo damage goblets on my account. And this is alright. It's nice to have some ER on him. C4, I would love C6. It increases damage a shit ton. And Triple Crowned. Absolutely love Heizo. One of the coolest characters they've ever added in the game. Kaya, I completely ditched his build, so we're just going to brush right on over him. Bennett. I have the shittiest artifacts on the planet on him because all I care about is the damage boost. I don't care about heals. I just want the damage boost, and I have Akila Favoni on him, which I think is tied for best in slot on him. Obviously for the base attack. C6 technically, I'm not pressing that though, except physical's kind of obsolete now, so maybe I will someday soon. 2, like 3 or 2 without the upgrade. I should probably raise that though. And then Crowned, of course, just want to min-max my damage. And then that is almost the end of the characters I actually have built. I just have a really basic like Jean healer build on. Just a bunch of attack, nothing crazy. Kaching, she's okay. 58 over 200. I have her physical. Yeah, that's about it. Run through these real quick, they're pretty bad. I don't play her, but I just want her to be usable because I think she's pretty cool. C2, 876. Tighnari I do actually have build. 1500 attack. Not great. 60 over 180. Pretty decent. Iridescent Hunt looks great on him. Just run through these real quick. Pretty strong stuff, honestly. He does a lot of damage. Rosaria I have built. Not really crit. More so support. Need to get her on ER sets. C6. Those are the talents. And Xiangling I have built as well. She is a pure EM. And for some reason, a lot of crit damage build. I don't really use it that much anymore because I'm just more so using Pyro characters who are hitting Vapes instead of the other way around recently. But yeah, she's pretty good. Dragon's Bane R5. Crimson and Gladiator. I don't really know why I have Gladiator. C6. Pyronado's at 11. And yeah, that's pretty much it that I have built. So that is my Genshin Impact account. Thank you very much for watching. That's what playing every day for 2 years gets you, I guess. My artifact luck is not the greatest in the world, but pretty much everyone who I showed off does a pretty good amount of damage anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later.